express my total unity with every single word of what the chairman just said, and that was an extremely powerful presentation. And I want to salute the chairman for your leadership and the African People's Socialist Party, and we're going to talk more about what that leadership represents to us and to the world in this presentation that I'm about to give. And I also do want to acknowledge the also extremely powerful presentation and profound leadership of the chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Penny Hess, Uhuru. And Chairwoman Penny, who, as has been mentioned, has worked under the party's leadership, under the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela for 42 years, building white solidarity with black power. And I also want to acknowledge Deputy Chair Ona Zane Yeshitela. Let's give another round of applause for Deputy Chair Ona Zane Yeshitela, who is the brilliant leader of the African People's Socialist Party on the ground, well, all throughout the world, but currently, for the last year or so, has been on the ground, as has been mentioned, in St. Louis, Missouri, leading up this project of carrying out this vision of the Black Power Blueprint. And right now, I'm actually going to stop talking and show you a video, the part 2 of the video we saw earlier, because what we're about to do is get to the reparations part of a day of reparations to African people. And like Chairman Omali Yeshitela just said, we're not here as consumers of information or as spectators. We're here because we want to do something to change the world. We want to take action. We want to do something. So we're about to do something. We're about to raise money. And reparations to African people means, amongst other things, raising money in the white community and returning that money, which money has the value, just scratching the surface of the stolen value of hundreds of years of exploited African labor and life contained in its currency, back into the hands of African people that are struggling to reclaim all of their resources. All of it must go back into the hands of African people. All of the money that's owed, also all of the minerals, all of the diamonds, all of the oil, the gold, the music, the culture, the genius, the art, the science, the philosophy, all of it must go back into the hands of African people. And reparations in the form of material solidarity, also known as money, to the work of the African Revolution, to the Black Power Blueprint, is the way that we as white people can play a part in making that a reality. So you saw that video earlier where Deputy
The Black Power Blueprint is the only thing that addresses the serious disparities in our community by bringing political and economic power into the hands of the African working class. Thanks to you, we were able to demolish the condemned buildings across the street from the Uhuru House to make way for the One Africa, One Nation market. Flagpole that will fly the 25 feet red, black, and green flag as an inspiring symbol of a future of justice, prosperity, and liberation for African people here and around the world. We need your contributions to install the outdoor lighting and to pave and fence the lots, to complete the beautiful outdoor venue space and the community garden. Because of you and our amazing volunteers, we are in the process of rapidly renovating a 4-plex apartment building to house our African Independent Workforce Program that will train African workers returning to our community from the colonial prison system. Your generous contribution enabled the Black Power Blueprint to be on track for our launch of Phase 3, the renovation of our Uhuru kitchen, bakery, and cafe beginning January 2019. Hundreds of you from the white community have united with this opportunity to contribute as a powerful stance of reparation to the Black community. We can see the beginnings of an entire community coming together for self-determination and power over our own lives. We really appreciate your continued support to make these economic institutions a reality for the people.
Very incredible, right? So, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for sticking around, and please do stick around. None of you are leaving, right? Okay. Because this is an extremely important part of the program. Not only that, a little teaser here, we do have a little surprise later, so you have to stick around to see what I'm talking about. Before we get to that, so a lot has been said already, and I know we're a little bit over time, so I'm going to try to be very, very quick. So I would like to say, first of all, that, again, my name is Nevel, and I am a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee and the national chair of our mass organization, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And what I want to talk about now is why every white person here, if you're not already a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, should leave this event tonight a member of USM, and what that means, what it means to be a member of this organization. The first thing I want to say is that the number one principle of unity of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we have 3 principles of unity. So if you agree with these 3 things, you should join. Number 1 is that we are under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And that is actually an understatement, because not only are we under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, APSC, and by extension its mass organization USM, we are the white organization of the African People's Socialist Party. We're an organization of the African People's Socialist Party. The African People's Socialist Party formed this component of its structure with a particular job and assignment for us as white people to go back into the empire, into the heart of the empire, and organize other white people like ourselves to get on the right side of history, to get on the right side of the question, and to unleash all the stolen resources hoarded in our white communities as a consequence of 600 years of slavery and colonialism and genocide. It's a strategy. It's not just solidarity for something like that that's supporting the revolution. Like was said before, it is the African Revolution extending itself into the white society, into the white oppressor nation society. Which means that there are some cities where USM exists and the party as a formal organization does not currently exist. So sometimes people even in USM will say, well, the party doesn't exist here. But the party does exist in the form of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. That's what we have to understand. And it is a very brilliant strategy, which the chairman has called Black Power in White Face. Black Power in White Face. That's what white solidarity with Black Power is. It's something that is meant to forward the strategy of African people to win the revolution, to weaken the enemy, to weaken imperialism from within by peeling off as many white people as possible, because we're part of imperialism. We're part of the structure, just ordinary white people, like Penny talked about, the lynch mob. We're there to be complicit, to suck the resources, to feed off the resources of the rest of the world, and when it comes time to either send in money to Darren Wilson, or vote for the next imperialist president, or whatever, show our support and unity, pay our taxes, we're there to fund and benefit from the killing machine. So it's part of the strategy of the African Revolution to halt that machine in its tracks, to build the solidarity movement inside the belly of the beast. It's there to deepen the crisis of imperialist white power from within. Like Chairwoman Penny has said, we're the children of the slave master. And the children of the enslaved are organizing the children of the slave master to go when our parents are sleeping, the slave masters, and kill them. The children of the slave master are being organized to burn down the slave master's house from within. That's genius. Omali Yeshitela is a revolutionary genius. It's a genius theory and strategy that's unfolding in the world. And as Chairwoman Penny has said throughout this tour, which, by the way, this is the grand finale of this tour. So salute to Seattle for this amazing tour, and I know we're going to end on a very high note. That this strategy is designed to, as Penny said, to paralyze parasitic capitalism, to starve the parasite. And I remember hearing something that part of the strategy in a war, one tactic of war, is to attack the economic life of your enemy. That's part of war. So that's why imperialists always do that. They burn the crops and things like that. So every white person that joins the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and every event that we have like this, is the African working class attacking the economic life of white power. Attacking the economic life of imperialism. And that's what the Uhuru Solidarity Movement represents. That the Black Power blueprint is an attack on the economic life of white power. That's what it represents. And that's what USM represents inside the white community. Chairman Omali Yeshitela once said many years ago that one of the goals of building the Solidarity Movement is to reduce the extent to which the struggle of African people has to be a race war. It doesn't have to be a race war. It can be a war against the white ruling class. It can be a war against capitalism. Because we don't have to go down with the sinking ship. We don't have, because it's going to die. Imperialism is going to die. So if we side with imperialism, we're going to die, just to be frank. But we don't have to do that. We can help kill it. And that reduces the extent. It's not a race war. It's not black people versus white people. It's the black revolution, including white people, versus white power. That's what this is about. I'm going to try to speed this up. But just one other thing that I wanted to mention, that I remember hearing that during the war in China, between the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese nationalists, who were reactionary and neo-colonial forces led by Chiang Kai-shek, and the Chinese communists were led by Mao Zedong, that if the nationalists captured a soldier from the Chinese Communist Army, they tortured them and killed them, did terrible things to them. And if the communists captured a soldier from the nationalist army, they sat them down and they gave them hours of political education. And they ended up defecting from the nationalists, and they started recruiting into the Chinese Communist Revolution from their enemy. That's what this is. They didn't even have to capture us. They just put up posters to invite you to come sit in this room so we could be educated by the leadership of the African Revolution to defect from the white power army that white people represent, and to become part of the black power army in the form of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. That's what this is about. So we are part of the revolution. Our job is reparations, and it's not a favor that we're doing for African people, it's a favor they're doing for us. And the goal of the African Liberation Movement is the total liberation and unification of Africa and African people, and therefore the liberation of all humanity, including white people who want to get on the right side of the question. So that's why we're having this event tonight, and I want to close by saying, before I call up Comrade Drew, where is Drew? Okay, sorry. Oh, Uhuru, okay. Before I call up this comrade, great comrade here in Seattle to help make the call for membership and resources tonight, I want to close by saying that Chairwoman Penny and Chairman Omali Yeshitela talked about how this is the movement of any sector of the white population that has any problems inside of white society, that wants to fight back and end their own oppression inside of white society. So this movement is the real movement of white LGBTQ people who want to fight against this foul and disgusting social system. And a rejection of the assumption that a rainbow flag flying next to the American flag above a US tank is somehow liberation for LGBTQ people. That is offensive. That's not what this movement represents. And that the Democratic Party is working very hard to recruit every sector of white people into the fold. That's why they are always talking about LGBTQ issues, pretending like they care about that, or the Me Too movement. I'm offended by sexual violence and rape culture, but I don't think the Me Too movement is going to put an end to it. I don't think that Harvey Weinstein losing his job is going to end an entire social system built on rape and slavery. And I want that social system to end, to die a horrible death. So if Trump is offensive for saying he wants to sexually harass women, then we should be even more disgusted by a system where Thomas Jefferson, who's upheld as some kind of hero, raped a 13-year-old African enslaved girl named Sally Hemings. Trump is not even that bad compared to that. That's the social system that we're looking at. It's white power all through and through. It's built on rape and violence. And this is how we can be part of the process to knock it out of existence. This entire violent, disgusting, anti-African, anti-women, anti-trans, anti-homosexual, anti-life social system can die and be replaced by a beautiful, socialist, African working class-led world in which no human being, no child has to starve and suffer. That's what this is about. That's the meaning of unity through reparations. That's what we're about to do. So I would like to call up Comrade Drew to talk to us about our goal tonight and how we can all be part of making this happen. Uhuru.